You can't leave. We just got here. Yeah, he said he was in transit. Well, I hit record, so I'm just going to let it record for 10 minutes. It's not like anybody actually watches this thing. Go do your thing. Yeah. How long does it take you to run to the store and get more beverages? Go do it. Yeah, he walks over. It's just 2 corners, that's all. That sounds terrible. Anyway, you should go get your beverages. Wait, are you drinking alcoholic beverages again? Ah, well, that's fair. Hey, you know. How the hell does that work? Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, that's fair. Yes. Yeah. It's kind of an important thing. So how does that work with Budweiser? It's hey, bah. It's imitation beer, beer product. It's no, I don't think it's a type of cheese. I think it's a chocolate product. No. Oh. Oof. Ah, yeah. Because it's Britain. All right, go, go, purchase your things. Doop doop doop. Wait, why are you doing that? Oh, she like expecting. It's like you just set these, and then I'll put them in the back of my car, and take them to my house and put them on the floor. Yeah, that sounds like a terrible decision. Very easy. Do not put finger in the mousetrap. Did you see what's been going around on Reddit where apparently you can buy a Raspberry Pi Zero on Amazon and pay $90 and they will expertly install it for you? Raspberry Pi Zero. Wow, what the hell? Raspberry Pi Zero version 1.3 development board. I thought those were supposed to be $5 computers. They're like $20 on Amazon. Assholes. Oh. I also thought it was funny. I saw that Amazon, I hope it's Photoshop, but it's like Amazon Bookstore, like a physical place you can buy books from Amazon. It's like we finally come full circle. Like Amazon, like what the hell? That's kind of stupid. Okay, how do I share my screen? Ah, here we go. Share screen, screen 2. Alright, so Raspberry Pi Zero, version 1.3 development board. Camera ready. Included installation, plus $89.49. It's like $90. We'll come to your house. We'll plug it into your television for you. I would hope so. For $90, it's like you better do a lot of stuff for me. And let's see. /r/ It's just our picks. Yeah. You're saying just water with just the peach flavoring to it. How did you even accidentally order that? That it reminds me, I went to a McDonald's drive-thru once and I was like, okay, I don't really want to have coffee because coffee has like a lot of caffeine, but like hot chocolate has like a little bit of caffeine and a shitload of sugar, so it's good for like, I need like 20-30 minutes of like feeling really energetic and then being able to crash afterwards. And so I went through the drive-thru and I got one of their hot chocolates, and what I got was hot milk. I think it was hot milk, and I think when I dumped it out at home, it became apparent it was hot milk with a bunch of like cocoa powder at like the bottom or something, like the mix that they use. Like they did not mix it properly. This is just like warm milk. This is all I'm drinking. The worst part too is that like I'm thirsty, but this is kind of gross. But like every couple of minutes, you'd be like, thirsty, let me drink. Oh no, that's still disgusting. Why do I even? Yeah, here's the picture from Imgur too. Yeah, I think so. But like for some reason they were using like milk. Yeah, so it's like Amazon Books. So Amazon has opened a bookstore. Like it has to be fake. Like come on. How would Amazon? But like that doesn't make sense because pretty much Amazon started selling books because they were like brick and mortar bookstores are really expensive and hard to deal with, so we are going to sell our books online and make all of our money, and we'll be able to sell things for cheaper. So like the fact that they've come like full circle, like, well, I guess we need to do physical locations again. It's like, really? Like it just seems a little counterintuitive to me. Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm sure you could do that at. Can you not do that at like Walmart? Like, I think you can go to like Walmart and buy a Kindle. Like, they want their products in stores because it's an easy way for them to make money. All they have to do is send them, like, sell them at a wholesale value and then get money back. But yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, I definitely just want to have, you know, you gotta be careful about that. Yeah. Hey, Wiretap, can I feed pancakes to whales? I've definitely, like, I don't know, the idea of, like, I've definitely Googled weird things, like, early in the morning. I'm pretty sure that I once Googled, I was like, do whales fart? You know what? Whales do fart. For your information, whales fart. Everybody farts. It's just great. Do they do, right? They gotta fart. That's true. It's yeast farts captured by the delight and beauty that is gluten. You're gonna make sure that she never eats bread, like, ever again. So you can't do that. She'll not eat bread for like 2 weeks and then she'll die of malnutrition and starvation. She can't get any thinner. Oh, well, okay then. I'm impressed. She should do Go Mad. Yeah. Well, you know what Go Mad is, right? Gallon of milk a day. Oh, don't do that. No, 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 no. Oh, man. Is that a euphemism for farting? Baking bread. Man, I'm surprised my coworkers don't complain that I'm making bread all day. Making bread, man. Lay off. Lay off. A big old yeast farting up a storm. Somebody get some gluten. Oh, man. We're proofing this bitch? Is that what we're doing? Alright, let me remember. We are proofing this bitch. You should. You should do that. And that way you can brew beer and then bottle it and then give it to me. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do it. Like, there's just something about, like, being social in like IT just means that you drink. Like that's just what you do. Oh, with professionals, I think it tells you something. It's like we can't think of anything to do. That's true. You guys have a lot. I mean, even in the small town that I'm living in, we have like there's a within just like a short like driving distance there is a lot of just alcohol in general. We got like distilleries and breweries and wineries. Uh, and you have a meadery? Okay, cideries are cool. It's a place that makes cider. Come on, man. What is this? Yeah, I mean, it's less esoteric than a brewery. It's like, what do they brew at breweries? Sweet baby Jesus. I don't know whether to be impressed or disgusted. Well, okay then. Impressed. Okay. Are we still doing phrasing? Cause phrasing. Like, we still doing it? Oh man, I kind of really fucking love stouts. Like, it's the one thing that makes winter kind of worthwhile. Like, uh, I'm gonna be honest. I get really kind of depressed in the winter because it feels like all you do is you work. Like you wake up in the morning. Yeah, like you wake up in the morning. The sun's just coming up, even though it's like 7 a.m. Just like what the fuck. And then yeah, you get back to work, and then you get home from work and it's dark out. You're like, now we go to bed. Yeah, but that's like you never saw the sun. It's windows open, all naked, no covers, just like sunbathing, getting your vitamin D in. It's at the windows. That reminds me, I need to hassle people. Like, that good? Well, I believe it. So wait, how does frying, like, is it breaded and fried or just fried? Okay. I have never had fried turkey. We are too far north to enjoy the wonders and beauties that is. You're gonna light your house on fire. Yeah, okay, that's fair. You're probably actually of all the people that I know, you're probably the one I would actually trust to actually fry a turkey properly. That should actually probably be terrifying. It's probably terrifying. That is a compliment, but also a terrifying notion. It's like, of all the people that I know, all of them would probably fuck up dipping a turkey into hot oil. You do pretty good. I mean, I haven't gotten food poisoning yet, so Wait, which one? No. I mean, it could be a virus. It could be a stone virus. Oh, but that sounds like food poisoning. Violently from both ends sounds like food poisoning. Violently from both ends sounds much more amusing to me. That's because we talk from our mouths and also our asses. We miss you. We're looking forward to. Well, I'm going to Hope. I don't think Jacob's going to Hope because Jacob is a. You might come to Hope. Well, I'll talk with Nick God, and we can probably. I think we're gonna. Okay. Come on. You gotta to go do some stuff. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, the talks, they're all recorded. Like, I don't feel bad about, like, missing out on talks. I'm more there to, like... I'm sorry. Hey, you know, Radio Statler doesn't actually have... Yeah, that's a different department, technically. And actually, yeah, it's a completely different... Your company? You are your company. Oh, okay. We have one viewer! One! I'm sure he's gonna be home eventually. I sent a text to Johnny. I was like, "What up?" And he was like, "Yo." And I was like, "What you up to?" And then no response. And I'm like, it's probably because I'm awkward on the internet. So, yeah, I mean, that would not surprise me in the least. So I sent you two physical items of mail, and they arrived, which is good. Were you able to sync up with Mr. Frank and get that to him? You should really. My wife, I think, did a very good job doing that, and she did it by hand because it looks like it. Yes. So. Yeah, well, we were really glad, and hopefully those, yeah, yeah. Which actually, we found out, so if you ever get promotional stickers from, like a plumber or whatever, like, sometimes, like, I don't know about you, we get phone books still, because, I don't know, we do. If you get like, those mailer stickers for promotions, you can peel off all, like, the front end of it and then clean it with, like, Goo Gone and soap and water, and then you can put stickers on it, cut it to fit, and then put them on your refrigerator or whatever. So that's something you can do if you have way too many stickers and you just don't know what to do. You can, in fact, do that. I did that with a bunch of, like, EFF stickers and stuff like that. Those are good, too. Well, everybody loves stickers, and theoretically it's something you don't actually have to store. Yeah. Well, so last time we didn't end up having a podcast, which I was sad about because we had like a couple of things that we could actually have talked about that would have been interesting. Like you had crack and that RSA vulnerability. Well, it's not really a vulnerability. It was that bug in the firmware for certain TPMs and other hardware that would cause RSA keys to take significantly less time to obtain the private key from just the public key, which is like a big fucking deal. But, you know, that's all old news now. It's like boring. It's like everybody knows and everybody freaked out and then realized that it wasn't really a big deal. The firmware stuff was still kind of a big deal. If you use like those TPMs or whatever, like that's still a big deal. But like everybody freaked out about the Wi-Fi thing, and then as more stuff came out, it's like, oh, so like if I just use like a VPN or just use HTTPS, I'll be mostly okay most of the time. Kind of. Like, and the patches all came out pretty soon after too. WEP was, right? Yeah. That is true. But I mean, how old is WPA2? Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's fair, but like on the other hand too, right? Is like WPA two, like when did that come out? Like WPA two here. Tell me, Wikipedia, tell me. Alright, so it's been yeah, version one. Okay. Okay, so wow, that close together? That's actually a little surprising to me, but still, it's been like 15 years that we've been on like WPA2. And yeah, yeah, 13, 14 years, something like that. Like, I think, okay. Okay. I'm asking people for. Yeah, so really we should have, like, I don't know. ideally 6 years ago or something. But like I feel like it's been long enough that you should have, especially stuff like Wi-Fi that or network security. You probably should be looking at that and re-upping and reevaluating and have something kind of ready to go. I mean, short-term fixes usually have a tendency to have long-term, like become long-term fixes. But like, well, and that's what I'm saying is that um, I'm surprised that we don't have alternatives like already in the pipeline. Like usually somebody gets disgruntled and usually starts working on something, or is like, "This is a piece of shit. I hate it. I'm gonna do my own thing," and like start like fucking off and writing their own thing. Like I'm just surprised that we don't have anything that's even in like the somebody had a thought about it like a couple years ago. It's like, I feel like WPA2 we should probably work on like you would think that people would be like, yeah, it's been like a decade, maybe we should start looking at WPA3. Just take our time about it and start fucking around with it. But we'll need it eventually. Yeah, like a replacement or some alternative or something. Like I'm just surprised that there are like literally no alternatives. And to an extent, because there's like hardware stuff involved, yeah, sure, I kind of get it. But like on the other hand, it's also surprising that you don't have like some, even like a proprietary, like, I make my routers and you should use this thing and it'll all interact and stuff. Like just the fact that it doesn't exist, like period, is weird to me. Yeah, like I'm not surprised that it doesn't exist. I'm just disappointed that it's it's like when the Space Shuttle, like they did the last flight, and they're like, okay, we're not going to use the Space Shuttle anymore. I was sad that that ended, but mostly not because we ended the Space Shuttle program, but mostly because we didn't have anything to replace it. It's like this is come to the end of its life cycle. Its utility is now coming to a sunset, and it's just really disappointing that we just don't have it like the next thing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's always been a frustration to me. Like, how cool if you just upped NASA's budget by like a percent or 2%. Like, that's a shitload of money. You could do a lot of really cool things. And that's one of the things that always really frustrates me is that we spend so much money on defense. Like the U.S. spends so much money on defense, and then they're like, "Oh, we don't have money to do this thing." It's like, yeah, you fucking do. You just spent like several hundred billion dollars on buying shit that we don't need. The military says we don't need. Like nobody thinks that we need this except for one town in the bumfuck middle of nowhere builds that specific thing, and that's like all of the town. It is that town produces this thing, and the rest of the town is ancillary services on making the people that build this thing's life not a complete fucking disgrace. It's like, we have a... Like, we don't... They don't have planes! Who are we getting in plane dogfights with? Fucking nobody! Of course not. Because... that makes no sense. Like, it's just... Exactly. Exactly. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Except for it makes a certain demographics some money. Yeah, I'm not saying we shouldn't have any, but... Sadly, yes. Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing, is we don't want to offshore R&D. We don't. That's You should never be like, oh, R&D. Let's offshore that. Let's have like the people in Europe or in India or in... Sure. Offshore all the things, pretty much. It's just like... Yeah. Yeah. What a mess. What a mess we're in. It's... Yeah. It's like if you've ever been like a contractor and you've done contract IT work, so people pay you money, they pay you a lot of money, they ship you out there, and then you do some consultation, be like, well, you should really do this thing and this thing and this other thing, and you should do it this way because of XYZ reasons, and they go, no, that's stupid. Why would you? And then they completely ignore your advice, even though it's like, well, you paid me a shitload of money to give my opinion to you. If you feel like you know better than me, why did you hire me in the first place? I don't know. This doesn't make sense. Why would you... Like, to an extent, sure. If you aren't happy, get a second opinion. But the second opinion is probably going to tell you the same thing if they're competent. Who would have thought? It probably isn't, though. That's not usually how things work. You're usually not in the edge case. That's why it's called an edge case. It's yeah. How do you not have like a dedicated IT budget in this day and age? If you, well, yeah, that's fair. Like literally mom and pop and maybe the kids. Yeah, that still counts. Hmm. Yeah. X amount of years or whatever. Yeah, and I don't know. To a certain extent, I feel like, especially maybe even in something like that where you're digitizing and stuff, you should probably have, or at least think about. It's like you know that there's going to be expenses related to that, so you should start budgeting for it. Yeah, I guess. Right. I guess I don't know. That puts you in a shitty situation, though. How are you supposed to perform, maintenance to make it so? Because otherwise, you end up doing stupid crap to work around an issue, and then you're really wasting funding money because you're wasting time. The human resource is almost always going to be the most expensive aspect of any. Usually, not always. Like I definitely know, like, if you were doing digitization and you bought, like, a Fujitsu, like, 5950 or something, that's like a $20,000 scanner or something. Like, it's like a car. You're essentially buying a car that stays in one place but can do, like, 500 sheets of paper at one go, like, 100 pages a second. Like, it's very fast, it's great. It is fucking expensive. But, like, usually, you're not gonna have people... Yeah. But he... But it is, but then, now that I'm thinking about it, a person, if they're getting, like, a decent wage, is going to be probably making at least, what, 30 grand a year. Decent. I think a lot of places, less than that, you probably can't, like, really afford to have a house and have food on the table and probably pay for transit. Yeah. But yeah, if you're paying somebody... Well, I think you could probably, now if you think about it, you could probably, at least for having not volunteers, but something like that, if you had um, like a, it's kind of a business to business kind of nonprofit, right? So it's like a nonprofit that assists nonprofits. You could have a nonprofit IT group that could feasibly take on grants to support other... I mean, that's a fair thing. Yeah, and I think that's always the thing. Yeah, funding. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that is really frustrating. Even if you had a nonprofit that would be not even going after grants, but just going for, like, people to support, like, a monthly recurring, like, hey, pay $10 a month, like, a kind of a thing where you're a nonprofit, so people can, like, pay you money and get that back, like, stuff that is marketing or tailoring itself to supporting nonprofits be a nonprofit more effectively, or have an office that works more effectively. Like, people don't want to donate to it because if you look at the way that their expenses are, everything goes to administrative overhead, because it's pretty much, that's all you do, is you have administrative overhead that you then lend out to other nonprofits. So it makes you look like you're a shitty nonprofit that just sucks all the money in and does fuck all with it. And then it's impossible to do grants, but it would be, like, a much more efficient... Like, I'm sure there's some people that, like, some IT guy that's like, I don't really want to work for, like, one nonprofit all the time. They don't really need a on-call, like, all the time IT dude. They need somebody to pop in, like, every other week, make sure shit's still running okay, occasionally go do some patches, and, maybe be like, okay, this is how you encrypt things or digitize things, or, like, maybe more project-oriented work. Like, nobody really necessarily needs a 9 to 5 IT dude in a small shop like that. But, guys for hire are expensive, and you can't really do it as a nonprofit on a nonprofit basis or not for profit basis because nobody wants to fucking fund it. And for many of the same reasons. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Well, so I think that's probably of the way that things are accounted for and the way that people think about how cost centers are. Because IT, yeah, sure, they eat money, and you feel like you're just throwing money at it, but you also are saving money by saving time and making the lives of your other workers happier. And to a certain extent, if you're like, if you have somebody that's doing stuff properly and is, making sure that stuff is patched and secured and stuff is on lockdown, um, and you're not going to have a breach or some other leak or something like that, that's a huge savings. And just like paying one dude or a couple of dudes to do that is way cheaper theoretically than having bad shit happen to you. And you said no. What do you do? Yeah, like a workstation's a couple $100. Like, if your uptime is so critical that having 20 minutes of not being able to work on stuff literally costs you thousands to tens of thousands of dollars, just pay for pay for the upkeep. It makes sense. Like, there's, especially in financial stuff, like, it always kind of frustrates me. It's like, how do you really use, like, sure, there's an upper limit where, like, definitely it's if your IT department was like, I need $1 million for like this thing, like, yeah, sure, you should do that. But like, to a certain extent, if there's a justification, like, as a financial institution, it's just like, you probably have that money. It's probably worthwhile. Yeah. Yeah. Things that give you more bandwidth. Yeah. So, yep. Hi, Johnny. Can you hear us? We do have a Johnny. Those headphones are super cool, dude. I want you to know that. Yay! Yeah. Hey. It's actually well designed. Who would have thought? Hmm. What, me talking to myself? Yeah, that's fair. Now that you've joined, I have like 2 minutes before I need to leave. We kind of haven't had a podcast in some time too. Well, like I try to schedule them, and then I'll come and be like, okay, we're gonna set it up. We're gonna do it this day, and then like nobody, like everybody, something comes up at like the last minute. So I think last time I think I posted something. I think I just posted like me hold it like I was playing around with I was making stencils for something. What was I doing? Oh, I was making like covers for. I don't know if you've ever been married or had a wedding, but you do some like weird, crazy craft projects where you're like, you just go like fall down this rabbit hole and. It's a lot of table favors. Aw. Yeah. You're just like, it'd be really cool if we did this. So like I was cutting acrylic to like be a protective layer on like photos, because we did like a photo board thing, and so I had like this acrylic lyric, and then I just wrote like the game on it, and it's like she's like, "Hi, how are you doing? Life is suffering. You lost the game." Like just like random phrases. I think that was all it was, just like me writing shit on acrylic, and then holding it up to the camera, and then. Well, I didn't have like a whole screen. I just had like little pieces of. So I had like some scrap that I would just write on and then hold it up to the camera. I don't know. I'm like, well, because I was cutting the acrylic and I had leftover scrap, and so I just was like, well, I need to do an episode for the podcast, but nobody's available, so I'll just be here depressed and write things and hold it up to the screen. Oh, yeah, that's true. It's a popular format. Yeah, probably not. It's been a busy month. Yes, I am now Mr. Beaches, which is mostly what my name was before, but um, it's now officially. Now we still haven't legally named our changed our names. Named our change. Yeah, we haven't actually legally named changed our names yet. It's a lot of work. It's like too late. This is my. It's like I guess this is my life. Yeah. A little bit. Yeah. See, that one is. I mean, that one's really easy because you don't like the way that we did it. We didn't even like make one new account. That we just made a shared account, and we're just we've had that for like a year because it's how we pay for rent and bills and shit. It's just when you have money, put it into the shared, and then when we need money for like, oh, I'm grocery shopping, I'll just take it from the joint account. It's like it's very convenient, and then it we have still separate finances, which is really nice because then it's not like it's like, oh, I spent too much money and now we can't pay. It's like we just pay into the account first for all of our bills, and then whatever's left over is our money to do whatever the hell we want with. Back. I don't know. The issue with us doing that, at least, is we're just like, it's like, oh, you like don't worry about paying us back or whatever. Like it's way more accounting, and it's just much easier to just not give a shit and then just put some money in there, and if it gets low, oh, we need to put more money in, whatever. But like I don't think in the like year and a half we've been doing that. And then the other thing too is that at least for purposes of insurance and stuff is if you have like at least at my employer, if you have like a shared bank account and both of your names are on the lease for a place, congratulations, you now have a domestic partnership. You guys can be on, like, you can now be on, my company's healthcare or whatever, so you don't have to, like, it gives you some options for that, even though the state of Virginia does not recognize domestic partnerships. If you meet a couple of requirements and you sign an affidavit, as far as the insurance company cares, they're okay, you guys are okay, you're like a family, that's great. Yeah. I thought, like, the thing with common law is that you had to actually start introducing yourselves as married. It wasn't just that you live with each other for long enough, now you're... That's probably true. I haven't looked at it because, again, I got to the my state doesn't support that thing. Suddenly I've run out of fucks. I think... I guess so. Yeah, like, again, I got to the... It's like, does Virginia support common law marriage? No. All right. Suddenly don't care. Like, I'm not going to move out of a state. No. That's not really... I don't know. We got married on our 10-year anniversary, so it was like, we should... At this point, it's pretty much... Like, it's not like anything's really changed. We've been living together for, like, years. Years and years and years. Like, all it is we get better benefit on taxes. I mean... I think... I mean, as a society, it makes sense to kind of support having people pair up and make long term and then support and raise children to the furtherance of the society. It's you, it's like you should marry and have children so that and then well, I mean, except that it's not really bad. At least in my state, it's not really asking permission. You just inform them, pay them some money to cover the paperwork that is required. It's like $20. It's $20. You fill out some paperwork. Like, pretty much the only requirements is, like, you guys aren't, like, closely related. Yeah, no, it's mostly like you inform them, they give you a piece of paper that says, okay, it's cool. Like, there's a. No, they no longer do the blood test there. Why? Why do they. What is the purpose, but what are they looking for in the blood test? Like. Was there ever really a time where premarital sex wasn't really a big thing? I feel like people have been having unwed sex for a very long time. But like if you look at the media from like the 40s and 50s, is it's very much very forward facing. It's, oh, we don't like you have sex, and but then you also have like, oh yeah, and then we also go parking by the riverside and like fool around, and like that's a thing, and everybody's kind of knows that, like, yes, we do fool around and have sex. I don't have enough context, and yeah. Well, I mean, I know that like nowadays it's the amount of like teenage hanky panky has usually gone down, and especially well, mostly in places where people are more informed and have more distractions, like city environments and stuff. It's like I could have sex, or we could go to the arcade or bowling or the movies or like all these other shiny and bright things. Whereas like in the sticks, it's like, well, we can go to the library and read books. We could go to the river and drink alcohol, or we could go have sex. Like those are your options. That is the fun shit that you can do. So, but otherwise, like especially with smartphones and all the bright shiny distractions that we have these days, in the U.S. at least, it's gone down. Um, of course. I think that's not a good phrasing. I'm just gonna. Eating ass is a good thing to do with the kids these days. So what you're saying is that younger people, that like analingus is what we're talking about, right? Eating ass? Oh. right, so I guess we should probably start moving back up the stack from of our digressions. Good. Okay. Soldering, smoking. Uh, it's like, what is Johnny doing? That's not a good sound. Okay, yeah. 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 One of the really famous. I'm. That is. This is not the audience to be asking that question. I have no idea. I'm gonna Google that and we'll see what comes up. All right. The Lady Gaga of rap. Ah, okay. No? Wait, you're saying it's not Nicki Minaj. It is Nicki Minaj. Okay. Nah, that's true. I've heard the name. I don't know. I don't necessarily know what genres things are. Like Nicki Minaj, I'd kind of be like, oh, it's a famous person that is in the music industry, and I don't really know much about them except they're probably in pop, some variety of popular music. Okay. Yeah, I believe you. Yeah, nobody really thought you were awesome. Yeah, you're like never gonna do that. El Camino. I am not on core staff. I, I, yeah, for Magfest. I staff it in Tech Ops, um, but I'm definitely not core staff. I just kind of show up. I run some cables. I check out radios. Yeah, when did Magfest start? Yeah, the first Magfest was 2002. I would believe that. Yeah, that's one of been one of the big, I guess, boons of the internet era is just how easy it is to find out about the stuff that's going on around you. And I still think it's hard. Like it's still hard to know like all the shit that's happened. It's like we're not really equipped for it. mean, in fairness about the Trump thing, he only won by the very slimmest of march. No, I'm not saying that's my point. Is that everybody's like, "Oh, Trump won." It's like, yeah, he won by like less than 80,000 people in like 3 states. Yeah, on a technicality, he has no mandate from the masses. I mean, yeah, that's the problem with it. And honestly, the electoral college isn't necessarily. It doesn't work for a lot of reasons. Um, it has one thing that really frustrates me about it is that it has a very defined purpose, and electors are not informed as to what the purpose of the electoral college is. No, you don't. Well, because yeah, people aren't being taught what it is to be an elector, and they take Joe Blow that's gone to every Republican meeting, and they just like, oh hey, you're an able body, go do the thing. Yeah, that's the other thing is that yeah, and it's a really big deal because then it ends up weighting. Yeah, disproportionately giving. Yeah, it's supposed to. They're supposed to pass an act every couple of years to add and increase the number of things, and they just stopped doing that. They're just like, wait. So they passed a law, but I thought that the way the ratio of people to electors was stated in the Constitution itself. The ratio is not. Hmm. Oh, that's another thing that's terrifying is we are not ready to do a census. Yeah, which makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I mean it shouldn't. It should be in proportion to the population of the U.S. Yeah, but not like evenly. Like it's not evenly distributed because you have like states that have low populations get a stronger voice than like people in California just because California has a shitload of people. Yeah. Yeah. Are they running unopposed though, or like there's still at least like somebody who's like a Republican who? I think that's a little silly. If you're gonna run, you might as well actually run, right? But well, like so that's the thing is that you'll end up with places where some places don't even run against an incumbent. You have the incumbent, or sometimes I lived in the very southwesternest most part of the one of the most southwestern parts of the county as possible, or the state as possible, and my vote for who would be like who would represent me was either Republican or really batshit crazy Republican. Yeah, and they both went in that, but like there was nobody more liberal than like your standard Republican. Yeah. Well, so that's one of the big issues that we have too is that the way that we do voting and the way that it's winner takes all and it's first past the post, and that always guarantees that you're going to have two big parties. Um, and if we changed the way that that worked, you wouldn't even really have to. Like, I think there's a couple of other things that you really kind of need to do, but like if you make that change, like a lot of really bad stuff is just going to kind of you won't have like a one big tent that's supposed to cover everybody. Like all liberals have to vote with blah, or else they are just stealing away and then making it more likely that like somebody they definitely don't want. Yeah. So the issue with the way what they do in the primaries there is that they have they run too many people in the Republican primary. they have like 8 people, and so they split the vote in between. They're not playing the numbers. They are not, because the moderates all steal and have a smaller portion, so you guarantee that you're going to get like one dude that's got like 30%, and the other 70% is going to be divided up between like 7 other people. Whereas if you only ran like 3 or 4 people in your primary of people that these are our strong candidates, it doesn't divide it as much, so you end up with more likely to get more moderates as opposed to having several moderates that all split up that vote, and then you just have the batshit crazy nutter party voting for like one dude. Yeah, campaign finance reform is like a huge thing. All elections, they should all be publicly funded. It's like you get X amount of money, and that's what you get. Everybody gets that amount. You don't get any more than that. You can't have alternate fundraising. You can't take like it's like here's your 40 grand. Go do your stuff. Really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, kind of, but yeah. I mean, if you're gonna vote for the guy that's blue, and then um, but Virginia actually has open primaries, so you can vote in anyone that you want only once. If you choose one and you vote and you're done. You can't vote in both primaries, so far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong, but you can't. But like everybody, there is no registering in the state of Virginia. There is no registering for a party. You don't. You're not Democrat or Republican. Everybody's an independent. You're all independents. Yeah, there really isn't. Um, I don't give a shit except for this dude. Like, I don't give a shit except for not that guy. Fuck that guy. Um, well, so one, there is a certain varieties, I guess. There, I don't remember what it's called. There's a specific type of voting where instead of choosing one person, it's just I'm okay with these choices, and you can choose however many you want, and then I think it works. No, it's not ranked choice. There's another one that's just I don't remember. I read a Popular Science article on it like a year ago, but essentially, like ranked choice, you have to like you rank your choices. So it's like, I like this guy the most, and I like this other guy second most, and then, but then if you don't know like anything about, yeah, if you don't know any of the positions, you're like, I'm okay with these people, but I don't know what order I'd prefer them in. I don't know enough about them to put them in an order. But like, I'm not sure necessarily about that, but maybe. I don't know. That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. TLDR. Please do. Like he went to eighth grade. He paid some other kid. Well, yeah, he probably paid some nerd to do his homework for him. What was that? Is that a bridge too far? Ah, okay. I was like, was that inadvertently offensive? Did I overstep a bound by saying that Trump probably paid some kid? Yeah, I kind of would too. Let's pay the teacher to do his homework, maybe. I don't know. I think we've derailed quite a bit. Yeah, I mean that's kind of. There's a podcast, the Sysadministrivia podcast. They do like they have this. They do their year end, which you were just on it like a month ago, right? It is really awesome. Yes, he did that because I asked him to do that. So yeah, it's my fault. That's my fault. Um, yeah, no, no, I was very happy with how it turned out. Aw, okay. But like, so they do an end of season. They do something they call the shit show, where they're like, oh, which they still have like their basic. They do their intro and they do the news, and then everybody just fucks around. So it's like, but they're like, oh, we're gonna do the shit show, and we're gonna have all these random people on. It's gonna be great, and it's like, so you're just gonna do a Sysadministrivia does Radio Statler the podcast, where we don't have topics or like any organization or to be on their show again. Oh, that's the best part, Johnny. You don't need to be invited. They put the links up, and when they open the chat room, it goes live. Yeah, you just show up. You don't need to ask them to be on the shit show. You just show up. Yeah, you just show up. You can follow them on the Twitters. Uh, so you're saying that we should record during their shit show? We should show up and all join their shit show, and then just have a joint, like Radio Statler, the podcast, does Sysadministrivia's Trivia's The Shit Show. Oh, that date it is on my calendar. I will tell you exactly what the date is. It is December 6th, 2017. December 6th. December 6th. So next week. Yeah. Yes. Well, now you have something to do. Um, let me look it up. No, for some reason, I don't know everything about the a podcast that I'm not actually on. Let me tell you though, they're all right in the chat. There you go. There's some information for you. This is a blog post. Hey all, the time has come again for us to have a shit show. Season 2 has come and gone, and we'll be getting drunk and reminiscing about it. Before I go any further, have you seen the new contest? Blah blah blah. Oh, they're running a contest too, so I don't know how that's going, but if you want a ticket to Hope 12, wow, God, we're already at number 12. For the actual details on how to join our shit show parties, read this. So, it's that is mostly how anything Brent touches is. All right, December 6th, 2017, 2100 Eastern Standard Time. And then you need a computer, microphone, headset, decent internet connection, and Mumble. Yeah, no, theirs is, it's pretty, I've never been on their show except for the shit show, but it is, I would expect, yeah. Um, no, if I stream, I use Hitbox. Are you doing a Twitch stream? What even would you be doing? I know, like, in real life, but... It does change colors. You have some, LED color strip, and you just have it rotate through? Do you have multiples? Do you have more? maybe. Oh, okay. That's cool. Oh, I think he lives in the DC area. I think I heard or something. That's a not good face. Are you okay, Johnny? That's pretty soon. If you if you if you have extra time before or after Shmoo, and can make it down to the place where I am, I might not be able to make it into DC, but if you have any free time, you are. That's fair. I don't know, but the invitation's there. Just let me know. You can. I mean, I'll try. I probably am gonna face the same issues that I faced last ShmooCon, where I just don't like. I have to work on the Saturday, and I can't make it up to Friday and stuff. I will throw this out there: the town that I am in is available by Amtrak and VR, so you don't even have to have a car. It's so much. I know. Will people still be there Sunday night? Is it? Okay, so what weekend is it? Do we know? Hmm. Yeah, 19th is Friday, 21st is a Sunday. That sounds like it's probably right. I could probably take the 22nd off and see if I can scrounge a hotel and go up and stay the night. I'll look at it. I'll see what I can do. Yeah. 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 Oh. Wait, which one's the 006? That's the weird one that looks like a half circle or whatever, right? Okay. Um, so I think it's funny to switch topics very quickly. I was trying to refresh myself about what the 006 looks like because you guys have way more experience looking at the TSA keys than I do, and I found, yeah, who would have thought? I found this. I was like looking at images and that a lot of them are blurred out, at least from DuckDuckGo. But I wanted to show and appreciate the fact. I'm going to share my screen that this looks like um, something that you would see on like Instagram, the one that I just flicked, where it's just it's just like this is something that you would see on Instagram, just casually like, oh, here are all the TSA keys, and like you do with like your bagels or something. It's like, here's my bagel with this really cute coffee. Oh, that's beautiful. They got rid of that. I'm a little sad about it. I think. I mean, no time like the present. I remember when SketchUp came out. It was a Google thing. Well, I mean, name. I, yeah, but that's true. Um, well, wow. Yeah, those things are awesome. It's yeah, I used to go play with those when I was a kid. My dad would take me into the office and he's like, "Okay, I have to go do work here. Go set up on somebody's desk that isn't in today." It's just like you get the tracing paper and you just start going at it. And it was awesome. Yeah. I'd start looking for. That would be a much better, I think, story too. How much? Um, how much was that creepy horse mask? Because this is probably on par with that. So, I mean, think about it. Creepy, $40 for Ukrainian man. Way the fuck more for creepy horse mask. I mean, come on. I'm not gonna tell you how to spend your money, but you totally want that. Come on. What I'm hearing is that if you want to get Johnny something for Christmas, make it this. Yeah. Dude, it's just. I feel like everything's really expensive, but I feel like you could probably cobble together something if you have the appropriate tools. Yes. Well, because it's literally a luxury. There's like no, it's. I think that should be the title of the episode. We talked about it, the telephone in the bathroom. Um, you could take a shit and also order your pizza. That seems like a terrible. Oh my god. So it's like 11 o'clock. Yeah, it is. Yeah, on East Coast. I probably need to head off, and sadly, because of the way that we have to record these podcasts now, since Google fucked over the way that we actually do these podcasts, I guess that means we probably ought to call it a night. Sadly. Well, oh, I don't think that's true. It has been a while. I don't think it's been a full year. Um, so next week, Wednesday, Radio Statler does takes over the sysadministrivia shit show. I guess we're gonna do that. So put it on the calendar. We'll yeah, didn't nail it. I get VD. I don't even. I would think that would be the one that you did test for. It's like, we're not looking for this, but just in case. Are you thinking pen? Oh. Oh no. Shit. Oof. Fun fact. What are we on? I'm looking it up now because I kind of have to. This is the 35th full episode. We've had a couple of half episodes, and this doesn't include the technical episode 0, which never was aired, and no matter how much I bitch it, Cooter, I have not gotten my hands on it to upload it. We do have a lost episode. Well, it's not really lost until Joe, has a system crash and loses it forever. There's still a chance, but okay. So like well, even then that has bootleg. Like it was gonna be like, oh, like the Star Wars Holiday Special, but that even I have definitely seen that. Have you actually have watched the whole thing? I can't make it like 10 minutes in. I'm just like, nah, I'm done. I can't. So what I'm hearing is that I just need to stick it out and stop being a pansy. Okay. Oh, man. Well, I think that's it. I think we're good. Next week? Well, technically also next month, but yes. Both of those things will be true. Alright. Bye. Oh, I should have stopped recording first.